Hi, I'm Sadie Katz, and you are listening to the Don't Go Out There horror podcast.
In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, it's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin, and they are all that stand between you and the films that could end the world. Welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. Just want to thank all of our fans and listeners. Really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. Before we get into tonight's film review, just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. We hope you enjoy the episode. All right, guys, jumping to the film review. We are continuing on in Dustin's neon theme, and this week is my pick. I chose 2025's Presence. I was torn between three picks. Brian picked one of them, Hell of a Summer. It was between this one, Hell of a Summer, and The Monkey. I know Dustin loves The Monkey, so I chose not to pick that one, holding off on that one. But I did choose a movie that I know he and I both did an instant reaction on and both liked. I chose 2025's Presence. Unique concept. We talked about in our group chat, these movies, filming from the perspective of like the antagonist or from the perspective of the ghost in the house. And I like that. It was a unique approach. And I was instantly hooked on wanting to see this movie from the trailer. And I really like it. The movie moves me emotionally at the end. It's very, it's another grief movie. So if you were to tell me I'm tired of grief movies, I would understand that. But I don't know. This one was just so unique and different. I really appreciated it. And I liked it. Mike, what are your thoughts? What did you think about Presence?
Yeah, I got to be honest. I'll be honest with you, as you probably would have assumed, Nico. I wasn't like stoked to check this out, given the content of it. But again, let me repeat myself. I'll be honest. I really liked this movie. Like, I thought this was a fresh take, an interesting approach. Honestly, the cast is great. Lucy Liu makes a return. Haven't seen her in anything in a long time off the top of my head anyway. Still looks great, by the way. And there's really good acting. They keep the cast small. It's basically one location, which I've talked about a million times. I like a lot. And like you said, the different perspective that we get, it's almost like, what I think, In a Violent Nature could have been, right? Like we're getting it from the ghost/killer perspective, but it doesn't have to be like the whole time. Like we could still get a movie. Sorry, Siri. But no, I think it was really well done. Love the way it's shot, and I kind of talk about that in my scene by scene, which, spoiler, I'll be doing the scene by scene tonight for everybody. So excited to go ahead and do that. Good pick, Nico. I was not expecting much, so maybe that had a lot to do with it. It was definitely interesting, kept my attention the whole time, and appreciate that runtime, my brother, an hour and 25, in and out.
Yeah, and before you go, Dustin, I played it safe. I haven't seen that many neon movies, but to be fair, Presence was on my list already after I saw it, so I didn't feel like I cheated by picking Presence. I was really excited to talk about it, and Dustin, what do you think about Presence?
I thought it sucked. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's really good. I saw this movie January 24th of this year, saw it in the theater, and was just kind of blown away by it because I've said it quite a few times lately about how trailers have been giving us the old bait and switch. I feel like they're promising us one movie and then delivering another. I feel like this one did too. when you watch the trailer for this, you think it's a haunted house movie that's just all spooky stuff happening, maybe some people dying. It's all bad. That's not the case. This is a deeply emotional story, and I thought it was beautiful. I have seen quite a few Neon films. I've seen 105 of them now, and this is one of my favorites. Matter of fact, like I said, I saw this on January 24th, and it's still today, August 21st. It's my second favorite horror release of the year, right behind Sinners. Nothing's topping Sinners. I'll just go ahead and say that that's going to be number one. But the concept, it's kind of like a blend of two movies that I've seen the past couple of years. As far as concept goes, the first concept is kind of borrowed from A Ghost Story. A24 is A Ghost Story, whereas, in the afterlife, the ghosts, or in this case, the presence, time is not linear. You kind of exist, and the past, the present, the future all kind of exist at the same time. I really like that. It also, as far as stylistically, kind of borrows from a movie I saw, October 31st last year, directed by Robert Zemeckis, Tom Hanks movie called Here. Now, completely different subject matter. That movie is about a home, and the camera literally stays in one spot the entire movie. You see from before the house was built to the previous owners to Tom Hanks's family and then beyond, and you stay in the same room the entire movie. Brilliant. But this is kind of like that because we stay in the house the entire time. Like even when the characters move outside, we can overhear their conversations, but we're staying inside. And as far as what the movie is about, that's brilliant to me. This presence is confined to this house, and so are we. So I have a lot of positives to say about this movie. I do have some negatives that I only picked up on the rewatch because once you know the twist at the end, it kind of, watching it back, I was like, well, I had questions. Like, why didn't this? Why is that? But still, even after the rewatch, my score went down very, very minuscule amount.
Yeah, I saw the movie the day after you. I saw it on the 25th, so the score held up for me as well. Like it didn't go. Yeah, I mean, it's really good. It's top 3 for me. It might be even top 2. Like I really need to rewatch Ugly Stepsister. I really did like that movie, but how will I feel about that one after a rewatch? I don't know. It's not the most fun movie to watch, that one,
Yeah.
But this one just, I don't know, it just moved me emotionally at the end. Like it was very gripping. I like that.
Same, and I'm a sucker for movies that pull at my emotions. I mean, most of my favorite movies are the ones that make me feel something. Mm-hmm. Like Moonlight, a perfect 10 out of 10, the best A24 movie. That's a beautiful, beautiful movie. And it's because of how it makes you feel. So this one was able to capture that. That's something that honestly is rare in a horror movie. Horror movies are meant to make you feel tense and make you feel scared, make you feel uneasy. This one does make you feel uneasy, but it's for different reasons. I can't remember. Did we do an instant reaction on this one? We did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I say something that contradicts that, yeah, I forgot. I didn't even know we did an instant reaction. But last thing I want to say is shout out to Brian Daboll from the New York Giants. I thought he was great as the dad, Chris, in this movie.
Oh, man.
And the thing is, man, like this movie, like the emotion, to me, it like pans on like the ending, like that one little 20-second scene.
Yeah.
Like Lucy Liu, like that scream, like it felt like
they
it came
build
from
it
her
up.
gut. Like like that was her kid who died. Like she killed it. I thought it was amazing.
They do right. They do such a good job telling that story throughout, like how close those two characters are, and that guttural scream that she lets out it's horrifying and it's sad and it makes you feel some type of way. And something else that you kind of mentioned there, Dustin, I thought the way that they definitely made us stay in the house, even when other people were out on the porch talking or outside the house talking, when they let Lisa and Carl in and we're still in the house. I thought that was very interesting, a really great way to kind of capture that we're seeing this from a different perspective. And, last thing I really had was it was frustrating the first time through watching it and being like, why are we getting more detail Like, why is, Chris sneaking off and having this conversation? What's going on? But in reality, if we're seeing it from this perspective, then we wouldn't have all the information, because most of the time the presence is with Chloe. And so I think that was also not frustrating when you watch it back and kind of get a different perspective on it. I thought it was, for a minute, an hour and 25, they've filled it in with a lot of really good stuff, man. Excellent stuff.
And I love the way the movie looks too. I know the fun fact is there's like 33 cuts for the whole movie.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like you mentioned, A Ghost Story, we need to do that movie one day. That movie,
Absolutely.
That one will put you in the feels too, though. It's like,
Absolutely.
it's a gut punch to the old heart.
I
So,
watched
Mike,
that-
whenever you're ready to do the old scene by scene, go ahead, brother.
I watched a Ghost Story in the car on my phone while I was riding to Chicago with my bosses. And they're up front just having a good time listening to the radio, and I'm in the back like, oh, God.
Hey, man, isn't that the one that got in
It's
trouble?
like when they start talking to you and you got to like hold your breath so you don't like shed a tear.
Man, you can't be crying in the club. I guess you can. All right, I'm going to give it the old college try. Listeners and fans, I'm trying my best to participate more into the scene-by-scene lottery, so went ahead and volunteered this week. Bear with me. I did my best, and I tried to keep it kind of short instead of getting long in the tooth. And I actually think that kind of worked for this movie, so I picked a good one as far as runtime goes. All right, here we go. We start the movie with some long around-the-room tracking shots in a dark room as piano music plays. It's finally daytime, and we see a car pull up at the house. It's a real estate agent, and she's here to show this nice but old-ass house to a family. One of Charlie's Angels and Toby from This Is Us end up together and have a family. Lucy Liu, still looking good as ever, he wants to see more of this house. The camera moves around the house, and we see Chris and Rebecca talking about buying it in the kitchen. They're talking about what's best for their two kids, Tyler and Chloe. Rebecca says that they have to buy it because it's hard to buy anything in this district, and Tyler has to swim at North. The kids walk in, and Chloe asks if anyone else gets a say, which is a silly, silly question. Shout out to Dustin. It's whatever the woman wants these days. Chris says, you know how these things go, as we see her walk around with what will be her new room. And then we cut to black. We cut to people working on the house and fixing it and painting it, and we get a worker painting, and his boss asks where Roberto is. And the painter tells him Roberto is adamant about not going in this room. We cut to Tyler walking upstairs, home from school. And Chris asks how it went. Tyler says fine and closes the door. Not a great relationship there. We see Rebecca on the phone talking to somebody about closing the deal on the house, and then it's her with Tyler in the kitchen. Rebecca's being kind of super creepy with her admiration for Tyler here. She says that everything they do is for him. Even Tyler kind of stands up for his sister Chloe, but Mary Kay Latourne mom wasn't having it. We then see Chloe crying in her room as something calls her over to the closet. She says the name is Nadia with no response. She says the name Nadia with no response, so she lays back down. Chloe's in the shower now, and a book for school starts to close on its own, and her room starts to self-clean. And instead of being thankful, Chloe freaks out. Chris comes in and asks if she's okay. She says yes. She thought she saw a mouse, and then Chris leaves the room and closes the door. That's the first set of scenes that I had. Nico, what'd you think?
Yeah, starting off, like I mentioned, the film had me intrigued from the trailer. Haunted house story from the POV of the ghost. I'm in. Let's see how this goes. Haunting music as the presence goes through the home. I'm loving the tone and the mood already. And this is on my second watch. I loved it even more. We meet our realtor, and it's none other than Julia Fox, Howie Blaine's side chick from Uncut Gems. Shout out to a great A24 movie. I know Dustin, and I think Mike. I think we all love Uncut Gems. Great movie. Lucy Liu making her first appearance on the show, I believe. But the dad of the family, Chris Sullivan, we saw in our Stranger Things season 1 review over on the series pod. If you want to check those out. I love the camera work as the presence goes from person to person in these big swoops. I can't remember what show I said it on recently, but moms who are overly obsessed with their sons, quite weird to me, very weird. More good review talk. I like this house. It's not overly big. It's cozy. I'd love to own this kind of house one day. And bro threw Roberto under the bus with a quickness. I like how they had a character, even a minor one, sensed something wrong in the room early on. Rebecca up to some shady shit behind the scenes. I don't like the looks of this. This scene I find very strange. Rebecca is Tyler's mom, and she is way too touchy and extra with him. I've never felt this close to another human being ever. Excuse me? You said that to your son? That's kind of weird to me. It's okay to go too far for the people you love. There needs to be some context there. I think you're not entirely wrong, but I don't know about killing for people, stuff like that. I don't know about all that. Chloe crying in her room alone. She want to be me for real. Chloe sensing Nadia in her closet is interesting. Film is establishing she's connected to another world through grief, which I'll touch on at the end of the film. Very creepy seeing all Chloe's books and folders moved. We can't deny what we see, so I like that. And Dustin is the last thing I got. A mouse is a nice off-the-dome excuse. I thought it was a great opening, in my opinion. I'm locked in for the rest of it.
First of all, to what you said about you don't know about killing for those you love, I'm telling you right now, Florence Pugh asked me to kill someone. It could be the Pope. I'm doing it.
What about me?
Sorry, brother. I love you, but it's Florence Pugh.
I would be mad if you didn't do it.
Okay. As long as we're on the same page.
Just shake my hand before you do it.
Because I would expect you to kill me for Sophie Thatcher. I mean, I get it.
I don't love Sophie Thatcher like that.
What am I saying? What am I saying? Picking a woman over you? No, never mind. I take it back. All right. I love the cold open. The POV shots going through the empty house, and then the score starts. And the score is fantastic for the tone of this movie. And the present settling into the closet that it does, the closet that it chooses, it makes so much more sense on the second watch. Like, no one realizing what the presence is and what's going on. Like, it makes so much sense how the presence seems to stay in Chloe's room. We see Julia Fox first, and I think that, and thankfully she's barely in the movie, because I think that as a society we have moved past the need for her at all. It also makes sense why the presence follows Chloe first and doesn't get directly in front of the mirror. That's things I didn't realize the first time that I watched this, how perfect they were. Rebecca immediately thinking of Tyler when Chris was talking about Chloe. That makes a lot of sense too, given the family dynamic that we learn. I love the cuts in this movie. Like, they're not smooth transitions. They're hard cuts. And it's done in a way that's like time jumps, which makes a lot of sense, and it keeps from having a lot of filler scenes. I like how we're shown that Rebecca has some shady stuff going on in her work life. It's also a very questionable relationship that she has with Tyler. I agree, Nico. It's like she's in love with him. It's kind of uncomfortable to watch. I love the scene of Chloe crying and getting up because she senses the presence. Great way to introduce that. And really cool stuff seeing the books and her belongings move like that. I thought that looked great. Yeah, I agree. It's a really, really solid open.
Yeah, I agree with you both. That's why I called her Mary Kay Latourne Mom in the notes there, because it was giving me Billy Falau vibes. Shout out if you know, you know. Anyway, we're in the kitchen now with Chris and Rebecca, and they're talking about Chloe has changed. Chris is trying to help out Chloe and fix her not talking to them. She doesn't want her, or he doesn't want her to end up like her dead friend. Rebecca tries to brush it off, and Chris calls her weird ass out and mentions that her advice basically equals not doing shit. Chris calls someone on the phone to ask a legal question, but we never really find out what this is. Tyler stops by Chloe's room and introduces Ryan. They say hi, and then Chloe lays back down and closes her door, and the door closes behind her on its own. Chris and Rebecca are talking after a long day at work like married couples do. Then instead of giving a fuck about Chris's day, all she wants to talk about is a computer virus, and then spoils how her favorite golden child, Tyler, did that day. He won his 400. I'll let him tell you. Chris says that he thinks he got a new therapist for Chloe, and it's a woman, and maybe that's what she needs. Rebecca brushes this off and says she just needs time. And Chris reminds her that she has two kids, not one. Chris asks the kids if they want burritos, and of course they say yes. Who wouldn't? Chris is back on the phone, and his legal question was, what if one spouse was into something that's illegal? What is the implication on the other spouse? What if they are legally separated? The person on the phone asks Chris how he is, and he says, not great. He's coming apart, and then starts to cry on the porch. We cut to Chloe and Ryan coming home. Chloe pours herself a drink like a champ, and Ryan declines taking one like a weirdo. He also says that he's already seen her room. What the hell, Ryan? Who would turn that down? Then Chloe calls him out on this like she should have. He also tells her that her brother has a mean streak and reveals a prank that he wants to pull on someone named Simone. We're upstairs now with Chloe and Ryan talking. Ryan asks what it's like to have someone die. Chloe explains her situation as we finally start to peel back the onion on what happened to Nadia. She gets nervous and doesn't want to talk about that and kisses Ryan instead. They try making out, but neither one are in the right state of mind. Chloe starts crying, and Ryan starts trauma dumping and gaslighting Chloe into some no pants dancing. Just then, the shelf in the closet falls off. Chloe stares into it and has a moment, but then she says she's fine and blames the weed. Go ahead, Nico.
Yeah, just giving you a heads up, Dustin. I got a decent amount, but I'll give you a heads up when I'm almost done. As Mike mentioned in the breakdown, very cool camera work as it swoops around the room. I love the camera work of the film. It's very sad to me to see how disengaged Rebecca is with her daughter's well-being. Like, why is she so disconnected with her? I do appreciate she stopped working and actually consoled with her husband, but he's right. Her solution was just to do nothing. If happy wife, happy life is the mantra, Chris is not having a happy life right now. He just ticked Rebecca off big time. Chris getting legal advice while drinking wine, oh boy, not good to me. Big Brother, though, on some very un-Big Brother activity. Who introduces their friends to their little sister? Not very protective, if you ask me. Like, most of the times, guys want to keep their friends away from their, like, little sister. Like, it was just weird. Not creepy, but mysterious how the door closed on its own to help dim out the conversation with Ryan and Tyler. Like, the presence is trying to just low-key keep her safe. Funny clap back by Rebecca to say, I remember both kids coming out my body. Chris was correct telling her she has 2 kids, but how are you going to argue with that? Like, the woman's always going to say, well, they came out of me. Like, you can't win that argument as a dude. And, of course, Chris, like Mike said, we want burritos. We love burritos. What kid doesn't want a burrito? Howard must be an important call. Chris went to boot scooting outside to hear his feedback. Very clear he's worried about Rebecca's extracurricular activities and how he may be affected. It's interesting how the presence is locked into Chloe. Is it her grief? Is the presence after her specifically? Chloe asks a high school dude if he wants to see her room. Of course he does. Well, alrighty then, Ryan. You might be the exception, weirdo. You can tell Chloe has been craving someone to talk to about this, and it sucks the one person she opens up to is a horrible person. Chloe went all ghost talk to making out. I wonder what Dustin would do in this kind of a situation. You're talking about ghost and grief. Now she's kissing you. Like, I just want to know what Dustin would do in the situation. Maybe he'll fill me in after this. On first watch, this is a powerful scene between Ryan and Chloe, both talking about their grief, struggles, pain. Like, it's a really raw scene. Clothes are coming off, oh boy, until the closet falls apart on its own. This would have scared me senseless. Imagine getting cock-blocked by a closet. Hate to see it. This is the last thing I got, Dustin. Like Stephen A. Smith said, stay off the weed.
Well, first of all, you know the old saying, a shoulder to cry on becomes something to bounce on. I don't talk like that anymore, though, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
Is it a shoulder to cry and becomes a dick to bounce on?
Something like that.
Is that okay?
Yeah. But I don't. That's the old me that would act that way. I'm a reformed man.
What you say now, Chuck?
So we get some really good context for Chloe and also get a look into Chris and Rebecca's relationship. And it shows how they both feel about Chloe. I thought that was really good. I like the presence taking an interest in Ryan's introduction. Like, that's another thing that just makes sense. Rebecca deleting all those emails, red flag. Like, that's a patient man. I'd had to call her out. Big eye opener when Chris takes the call from Howard and asked about his legal implications. And he does such a great job acting. Like, not just here, but in general. He really seems like a dad/husband in this movie. And honestly, I think he's the best acting performance in the movie. Something I do wonder about, and this is what I was talking about after I watched it for the second time, like, if the presence knows what's going to happen, why didn't it try to get rid of Ryan earlier? Like when Chloe brought him home, like, why not set it off? I get that it would ruin the movie, but logically it just seems like stuff would start popping off as soon as he walked in there. Shake the shelves, shake the table, something. I do like that he made the shelf fall when they started making out, but I don't know. To me, that's just not enough. But this is another really good set of scenes it's building.
We're down at the dinner table, and Chloe asks if anyone else has seen the title of this movie. That would be A Presence. Chris says no, but tries to dig deep on what's wrong and what's going on with Chloe. She's explaining herself, but Tyler cuts her off and basically goes to fuck off on her for no reason, and that they should stop feeling sorry for her. Chloe says she hates Tyler, and Chris tells everyone to bring it down as his son leaves the room. Rebecca runs up to talk to him. Of course she does. We cut to Tyler walking in the room to talk to his dad. He does a half-ass apology and basically just reiterates what he said at the table about Chloe, that she was messed up before her friends died, and tells his own dad to do his job. Wow. Okay. Chris leaves, but not before telling Tyler there's a decent man in him and he would like to see it sometime soon. Great line. The family is in the living room together as Tyler is explaining the prank he pulled on Simone. I would tell you guys what Tyler was talking about, but I didn't write that shit down because he was being a douche and I wasn't paying attention. I didn't find what he did very funny at all. Something about a doggy shirt and a picture. Just then, shit starts to come off the walls and move around in Chloe's room. It's the presence, and Chloe says she saw and felt it. The family is on the porch now and doing nothing but arguing with each other. Tyler is still being a dick to his sister even after that, and finally Dad stands up for her and yells a little bit. Rebecca and Chris share a cigarette, and then Chloe talks Tyler into going back inside. Chris then tells the family there's never been any reports about the house, according to Cece. She then mentions her sister-in-law is a quack, someone who senses things, and that she would send her over to the house. We see Lisa and Carl pull up, and Trish tried to get them to come in, but Lisa is hesitant to go inside because she senses something. She did the thing that she said that she could do. Congratulations. He gets her some water, and she sits down to take in the room. She says that Chloe is suffering. She rightly predicted that she lost her friend. She apologizes that Chloe is suffering and says she knows what that's like. Carl explains the door and what happens when people open it. Lisa explains there's a presence and it's latched on from the house into Chloe. It doesn't know what it wants. It's figuring things out. Just then, Lisa collapses on the couch.
Yeah, I give Chloe praise for even mentioning she detects a presence. That wouldn't be easy to bring up because most likely no one would believe you and they'd probably think you're crazy. Mama Rebecca is still on her phone disconnected with all of Chloe's concerns. It made me sad. Tyler must be on some extreme PEDs or he has some deep-rooted anger to Chloe because this crash out is insane. I agree, Chris. I wouldn't live like that either. I can't even have a nice family dinner. I would just, give me a break, man. Nice father-son moment here and much needed until it's not. Tyler has some deep issues with Chloe. I hope he gets to work it out in the future. There's an excellent man inside you, Tyler, and I'd like to see him soon. I thought that was such a great line. I think we'd all agree with that. It's what a great line and great delivery. Rebecca continues to be awkward around Chloe. I don't understand the disconnect, but I'm not a parent, so who am I to judge? Bold statement for me early, but I think this is a fantastic family drama. All four play their roles so well, even though they kind of annoy me with how annoying they can be, but they all nail what they're supposed to do. Love this shot of the presence running up the stairs and into Tyler's room, tossing all of his trophies to the ground and all the lights flickering. This would be terrifying to experience in real life, and it's interesting how locked in Chloe is to the presence. Standing ovation for Pops calling out Tyler for being a dick to Chloe yet again. I enjoy Chloe's dialogue about Nadia trying to help her, and the family drama continues to be intense. I know Chris has got to be on blood pressure meds. He's so stressed out. Hell of a convenience that the realtor's sister-in-law is somewhat psychic. I don't know. Maybe what a coinky dink, right? Love the facial acting by Lisa stopping before even entering the home, already sensing something in there. I really thought that was just executed perfectly. Love Lisa's dialogue here about Chloe. You are more alive on this planet than you have ever been. You are sensitive in ways than others have been. I saw comments on TikTok about grief opening up other realms of consciousness, which I 100% believe. You can feel things and experience emotions much deeper when you're grieving. Love Rebecca's reaction to hearing that there is a presence in their home as well. The presence has something to do, but doesn't know why it's here. Something's happened to it here, probably in this house. I thought that was a great line as well. Past, present can be happening at the same time. I just love this kind of stuff. I love thinking about this kind of stuff. And this is the last thing I got, Dustin. Powerful reaction by Lisa. I thought this was my favorite set of scenes so far.
Yeah. First of all, I didn't have this in my notes, but I'm glad you mentioned it there because I meant to. So Lisa saying the presence doesn't know why it's here, but it knows something happened. That kind of explains why the presence didn't stop stuff from going down. But at the same time, like one of our social media comments said, we find out that the presence is the brother. I still, whether I know this guy's going to try to kill my sister or not, I still wouldn't want him just going to Pound Town on my sister. I'm still shaking the table. But anyway, Tyler sucks at dinner. What a douchebag. It's also a very interesting family dynamic here. There is no shot that I would have used this kind of language with my parents. Out of respect, out of fear, whatever. That's just crazy to me. And maybe some of our listeners grew up in a household like that or have kids and that's how it is. That's fine. It's just crazy to me. Also wild to talk about the prank that they played on that girl. I would have never bragged to my parents about being a douchebag like he does in the living room. Talking about, oh, he got this girl to send him a nude, and then he had her show up, and we all made fun of her. And then the revelation from Chloe that the picture did get leaked. that's not good, idiots. It also makes a ton of sense why the presence goes upstairs and wrecks Tyler's room, because like he's embarrassed and ashamed is how I took that. He's mad that he did that. And that's one of the last memories that his family has of him. Very ironic when Chris told Tyler that it wouldn't kill you to stand up for Chloe one time, given what happens the one time he does stand up for her. It did kill him. It's a good red herring, the whole movie, having Chloe think that it's her friend the whole time. Like, it just keeps that in the back of your mind. Like, she thinks it's her friend that overdosed, and we're just trying to figure out who it actually is. It's just a lot of really good stuff here.
Absolutely. Chris talks to Carl and Carl basically tells him to pay up. The couple leave and go back to her lunch break. Rebecca then scolds Chris and says that woman is never stepping foot in this house again after Tyler calls everyone a freak and leaves. Chris apologizes to Chloe for making it worse as they have a sweet moment. We cut to an upstairs shot, Chloe getting her shit split by Ryan. They finish up and Ryan gets her a drink. Chloe asks if she could tell him something if he would just listen. Ryan says sure. Then he goes and gets juice while Chloe gets in the shower. We see him put some kind of drug or white powder in her drink. They sit down on the bed together, and Chloe says maybe she'll tell Ryan that weird shit later. Then the drink flies off the table itself, almost like the presence was protecting her from it. Chloe and Ryan are talking. Ryan is back to gaslighting the hell out of Chloe and says he wants to see her longer, that she's totally in control. He says he would take care of Tyler, and he thinks he's in love with her. Chris comes in to talk to Chloe and basically tells her that her mom sucks and tells her about his mom being religious. He says that he believes her, that something is here with them. They hug, have another nice moment of someone finally believing our main protagonist in a horror movie. Lisa shows back up and tries to convince Chris to let her come inside and says her help is not needed. She's rambling about a window as the movie cuts to black. We see Chris and Rebecca talking, and Chris is trying to get her to open up. Maybe she has a court case. Maybe she's in some kind of legal trouble. We don't really know. They don't make it super clear where they're going, but Chris reassures her that he's by her side no matter what. They tell the kids goodbye, and Chris tells Chloe to text her anytime to not have anyone over, and then leaves. We see Tyler in a room listening to music as Ryan shows up. They make a drink. Tyler tried to give it to him neat, but Ryan asked for OJ like a little bitch. He said there's some in there for pussies, as we see Ryan leave to make them both a drink.
Yeah, I don't have that much on this set of scenes, Dustin, just giving you a heads up. Carl really makes this whole thing that just happened feel like a gimmick with how quick he went after the money. So I can appreciate the realness of that because, a lot of people, I think Mike's been very vocal about not believing this kind of stuff. So as soon as you ask for money, it kind of like discredits everything that just happened. Go from the presence running upstairs into the closet to Chloe riding Ryan like Seabiscuit. Talk about things escalating quickly here. Shout out to the presence saving Chloe from the spiked drink. I don't get how Ryan isn't more freaked out by this occurrence. He must be dead set on killing Chloe. And that's just this kind of proves Dustin's point, too, that he brought up. Like, if you can stop this drink, why not stop the actual murder later? But anywho, love this interaction with Chris and Chloe. He portrays the nervous dad so well. And I love how he supports her. He validates her, consoles her. I love it. Lisa is back, free of charge, I assume, and says a window. I swear a window. I wonder if that will factor in at all later. Chris continues to be vulnerable, admitting he considered divorce, but he is still there with his wife. Another beautiful moment with Chloe and Dad. I really love their relationship. That relationship carries the film to me. And this last thing I got, funny line by Tyler. Yeah, we keep it on the shelf for pussies. I laugh, but who doesn't keep orange juice in the fridge? Like, why would it be on the shelf?
Yeah, it was in the fridge too. Like,
but why did he say it's on the shelf?
On a fridge shelf.
He must have been drunk already. That's reaching. Come on now. I don't think of the fridge shelf when you say the shelf.
People, not humor's not for everyone. Some people just aren't quick-witted, and he's clearly one of those. Trying to make a joke, sounds like an idiot. All right, Carl shaking down Chris for money was very well done because it was so realistic and awkward. Like, no one really wants to ask for money, but he did it in a way it was believable. It was odd that the presence didn't do anything when Chloe and Ryan were going at it. Like, again, I feel like a lot of this could have been prevented. And even if the presence doesn't know what's going to happen, like, that's your sister, bro. But it did prevent her from drinking the drug juice here. Like, that's good stuff. Touching father-daughter stuff when Chris is talking to Chloe, I thought that was really well done. because again, like Chris just didn't really know what to say. He was kind of finding his footing as he went, and it came across very genuine. And I love Lisa showing up and telling Chris the presence is there because of something that hasn't happened yet, and about the window, like that's very ominous, gives us something to wonder about. The presence making the booms while Chloe's sleeping, that's a really good touch as well. It's like it's trying to get her attention, trying to wake her up. I like that. When Chris and Rebecca are getting ready to leave, it's good stuff with them talking. She's very dismissive and downplays any trouble that she may be in, and he's committed to sticking by her. And a great line when he tells Chloe to make smart choices. The bad ones tend to last forever. Boy, how right does that prove to be? I'm ready for the ending. And, I was going to save it, but I'll go ahead and say it here. If you're wondering how I can make Rebecca the villain in this even more than Ryan, here it is. If Rebecca hadn't been doing all that shady crap at work, her and Chris wouldn't have had to leave for the weekend because that's what that meeting was over. So if she was a better parent and a better employee and a better
Also,
wife,
she sucks. Yeah.
Tyler wouldn't have died. Everything would have been avoided. Like, it's all her fault.
I mean, you're not totally off kilter there, I don't think, because there's a reason they set up the story this way, right? Like, we're not supposed to like Rebecca, and something terrible still happens to her. It's not comeuppance by any means, but, like, they weren't going to break our hearts in a million pieces by having something bad happen to Chris or Chloe, so it had to happen to somebody, I think.
I just really hope that when her and Chris went on that trip to meet with her boss or the legal team or whoever she met with, I hope she ended up getting fired as well. Because losing a son's not enough.
God, I can't follow that. I can't. The fuck am I supposed to do? The fuck. Anyway. All right, last set of scenes. Here we go, guys. We're in the kitchen with Ryan as we see him roofie the drink for Tyler, which is kind of weird. He tells them that the Simone girl is gone and on a full mental health break. He says some people just can't handle it. They do a toast and then chug their shot. And then we cut to Tyler passed out on the couch, and we see Ryan make some more roofie drinks and heads up to Chloe's room. Ryan thinks he scored, but Chloe shuts him down and says she's not okay with this, that she's going through things and has to do this on her own. Ryan kind of pouts and then gives a sob story about being a fuck-up, being so alone. Chloe finally decides to comfort him and decides to chug that drink anyways. Ryan basically continues to gaslight the shit out of her. Now that she's drugged, he tells Chloe that she's in control. But obviously, he's full of shit because he's in control. He starts to pet her head weirdly and talk her to sleep until she passes out. We then get the reveal that Ryan is fucking insane as he starts to ramble about all these different women and taking control back and how he's done this before, and ask her if she wants to feel how Nadia and all the other stupid fucking girls felt. We get a tracking shot through the house of the presence waking Tyler up, which is himself. He then runs upstairs to help his sister and tackles Ryan out of a window. We get a shot of them both on the ground, dead. We cut to Chloe pulling something out of the closet and then running upstairs to comfort Mom as Rebecca stares out the window. She then looks in the mirror and sees that Tyler is behind her, the presence the whole time. She has a panic attack and calls out for her boy that came back to see her, and then she collapses on the floor as Chris and Chloe comfort her there. Go ahead, Nico.
Great ending. I got a decent amount here, so bear with me. Could have been a nice chill evening of the bros vibing and having drinks, but Brian just has to keep on spiking these drinks for everybody. Ryan might be the greatest gaslighter I've ever seen, playing a victim to get Chloe to feel safe and drink the juice. Man, oh man. Very scary sight as Chloe drifts out of consciousness. It's a very scary world for the ladies out there. Like, this is very real. Ryan's character is evil, but is portrayed so well by Wes Mulholland. And yes, that's his name. That is his name, Wes Mulholland. Here's my question. How has Ryan not been caught, though? I know he puts drugs in these women's drinks, but how is there no DNA evidence left behind? He has long hair. He's right on top of her and on a bed. Like, they're not finding this guy's hair. They're not questioning, like, what he may be up to. Love the camera shaking as the presence is disturbed. It was a great reveal on first watch. He's the killer of the film, too. I thought he did such a good job, and they revealed him very well. Very interesting on my first watch, this sound and shaking, waking Tyler up, and how he knows something is wrong with Chloe. Elite foreshadowing from Dad earlier Can't you stand up for Chloe once? Literally did it once, and he lost his life. But he saved his sister, so I think he would think it's worth it. I do think he could have gone about that a little better, but regardless, he's still a hero. I mean, you didn't have to edge spear him right out the window at first. Like, you could have, did a body slam or something. I absolutely love this ending. Mom soaking in the moment, feeling her grief, pain, sorrow, and now she senses the presence herself. I was so shook first watching Tyler in the mirror and the reveal that he was the presence. I thought it was incredible acting of grief by Lucy Liu seeing her boy. She looked destroyed. That scream that she screamed, I don't know if that's how you say it, but man, it hit me right in the guts. Like that one, like I felt it. Like it felt so real. And now I will reference the TikTok comments I brought up that really moved me. Grief can open up you to realms of consciousness, which is why the mother was able to see him at the end. And another user replied, like Nell in The Haunting of Hill House. I didn't even think about that, but I thought that was just brilliant. Those comments added so much to my experience. I thought it was a beautiful ending as the camera pans away into the sky to a devastating family drama. I watched like Jeremy John's review. Like, I don't think it's not a horror movie, but if you said this was just a family drama, I could get jiggy with that because it is a family drama mostly.
Yeah,
and it was great.
Yeah, I agree. The ending was fantastic. I'm not sure why the presence let Tyler get drugged like that. Because if we're seeing it, that means the presence is in the room when it's happening. Like, why didn't it knock the glass out of his hand or something? I don't know. That kind of, the second time watching it, made me question it. Ryan is one of the biggest scumbags we've seen in any movie. I'm not just talking about any movie that we've reviewed. I mean any movie. Like, manipulating women is fine. Whatever. That's game is game. But drugging and killing, that's deplorable. Never wanted a character to die a slow and painful death more. The tension is crazy when he starts doing all that with Chloe and, the synthetic fent that he's talking about, putting the thing over her mouth. Just crazy. And then the presence wakes Tyler up and then bang, just like that, he's dead. And it all makes sense now. The window, the thing that hadn't happened yet, why the presence seemed to be so invested in Chloe. Like, that's just great storytelling. And then the cherry on top. The presence drawing Rebecca to the mirror with that high-pitched noise or whatever it was, and the big reveal of him in the mirror. Like, that's just great stuff. I get chills every time I watch it.
All right, guys, let's jump into our social media comments and questions. Mike, you want to knock out Facebook for us? Since Brian's not here, I'll do Instagram first so you can pull that up, but will you knock out Facebook if we have anything? First comment we got is from APZ84. Appreciated the perspective from the ghost POV. A little slow pace, but worth the watch. I agree. And I can understand if someone were to say they thought the movie was slow. Like, I get it for sure. And the last comment we got is from Jordan Zeger. Was very surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie. It didn't end up being anything like what I expected in a good way. Although the ending did drag a bit for me. I didn't realize it was the son until I listened to y'all's instant reaction, though, with a laugh emoji. Hey, we appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah. And I agree with what Jordan said there. I mean, this movie is not what I expected either because of the bait and switch. Yeah. Like, the trailer made us think this is a typical haunted house movie. Like, Paranormal Activity stuff is not that. And in a good way.
Yeah.
I've got X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, pulled up. We have two comments. One is from Tristan Behrman, who says, dope. He recently watched this for the first time. I agree, it is dope. Good movie. The other one is from that guy, Mailhouse14108. Said, enjoyed that the viewer's perspective was the presence. Did notice that the presence was a hard no to having Chloe drugged by Ryan, but when Ryan was putting Come of Some Young Guy into Chloe's spring roll, he stood by and watched. Also, Tyler didn't have to go full Goldberg. 6.5 out of 10.
Hold on. Come of Some Young Guy.
See,
reading that in like a Chinese accent is funny as hell.
Yeah, come on, some young guy.
Some young guy. All right, we're getting canceled.
I'm not even offended. That's so funny. I'm not even offended.
That's fantastic.
We got anything on Facebook, Mike?
We do, from the famous Matthew Heifer here. Hi, fellas.
Oh, this comment's long, too. This comment is so long.
I love you, Matthew. I appreciate you listening.
It's funny, though. It's funny. I remember it now.
Oh, hell yeah. Firstly, that was a great episode for Dustin's birthday. Maybe one of the best you have done. This is my third watch of this film, and I like the idea, the setting, the things that the ghost can and cannot do, like going outside, which we've mentioned. But it just felt like a small passion project by a really great writer and director that was distributed because of who they are, and this good idea gets wasted. Also, the ending reminded me of the writer's other film, Stir of Echoes. A confused message in the plot that nobody understands actually spells out what is going to happen at the end. Maybe you guys will change my opinion after you review it. Just remember, guys, if you feel that you are an unwanted presence in your home that is causing pain and suffering, just kick her ass out and divorce her. Take care, guys. All the best from jolly old England. Hell yeah, Matthew. You and Dustin are in simpatico with that one, brother.
I mean, yeah, if Chris had divorced that unethical
That's
bitch,
right.
then both of their kids would still be alive.
What if Florence Pugh was doing illegal stuff at work?
She would never.
What if she was?
She's a saint. She's a saint.
Okay. That's not, we call that deflection, buddy. But anyway.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's not possible. It's like asking, what if Jesus sinned? He didn't.
Florence Pugh was Jesus.
Come on.
That's not what I said.
You compared the same picture. All right, you got any trivia you want to share?
I got a couple here. The film was shot in just 3 weeks, nearly entirely within one house, according to a Variety article by Stephen Roderick. Like you mentioned, Nico, the average film contains hundreds, if not thousands, of hard cuts. This film only contains 33 hard cuts. The on-screen end credits font is the same as Poltergeist, 1982. I thought that was a nice touch. Though well received at this one blew my mind. Though well received at the Sundance Film Festival, some viewers walked out due to its intensity. One person said, quote, "I cannot take this stress so late at night," end quote. Like, am I missing something? Like, it's not scary. It wasn't stress-inducing. Like,
unless you've just been in one of them kind of situations. But I mean,
or like, am I
don't know.
desensitized because I've watched so many horror movies? Like this
I
movie
could
was
see it
child's
being
play.
triggering for someone that's been through something similar.
I mean, you gave Strange thing about the Johnsons and Nate, so I mean, yeah, probably a
That's-
little
again,
desensitized.
You okay? You're comparing apples with chocolate chip cookies here. Like, what are you doing? That's
Why they got to be chocolate chip?
Hey man, you're the one that gave. Hey man, you're the one that gave that movie an 8, not us.
I did. Stand by it. But that's not. What's the correlation? Last one I've got is that Lucy Liu was in Charlie's Angels with Drew Barrymore, who was in Scream and Never Been Kissed with David Arquette.
Hell yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
Love to see it. All right, guys, let's jump into our favorite kill, least favorite
Hold
kill,
on,
and
brother.
rating.
Hold on,
Oh, we got a
brother.
budget. I'm sorry. I skipped you
Dang,
again.
Nico
See,
forgot the
God,
budget.
Damn.
God dang it.
Damn it. I quit. No, I'm just kidding. I don't quit. This movie was made for $2 million. Like Matthew mentioned there, it was a passing project for Steven Soderbergh, and it grossed just under $7 million in the United States and Canada, $11.6 million worldwide. So not bad on that budget, I suppose.
Yeah, not bad.
All right,
We can
now,
jump. Look, now that I've quit rudely interrupting Mike, let's jump to our favorite kill, least favorite kill, and the rating. Dustin, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, favorite kill was Ryan. He was scum. Least favorite kill was Tyler. Like, very noble, but like you said, Nico, there's other ways to do it. If there's an incident with the window, I saw Shawn Michaels throw Marty Jannetty through one after giving him a Sweet Chin Music. Like, that's how
right.
you do it. You don't Goldberg or Edge spear him. Anyway, rating and final thoughts. I love how this movie presents the concept of time in the afterlife. Like I said, it reminds me of A24's A Ghost Story, the past, present, and the future all simultaneously happening. Also, I love the POV tracking shots and that we never leave the house, just like the presents can't leave the house. And I like how it shows that families have differences, but at the end of the day, family is everything. Shout out to Dom Toretto. Tyler and Chloe didn't get along, but he sacrificed himself to save her. I do have issues with the fact that he let so much happen without so much as a rumble, but it's still very good. After my first watch, I probably would have given this close to a 9.5. But after a rewatch, knowing what's going on and getting frustrated with the presence's lack of initiative, it did take my score down a notch. I gave it an 8.75.
Yeah, I had the exact same favorite and least favorite kills. That's the only ones in the movie. And honestly, Tyler was a douche up till that point. He kind of totally redeemed himself at the end, except he died for his troubles. Like I said at the top of the show, I was thoroughly impressed, and I was not expecting to like this movie the way that I did. because it's not a traditional haunting movie. It is a family drama, a lot of emotion. I love the way that it's told from the presence's point of view multiple times over and over. And so I love that there's rules, like Matthew mentioned on his comment. And again, just really well made, really well shot. Like, I love the way they use the camera in this movie. It makes me feel more immersed in the story. I'm almost like in the house with them the entire time. And I really like that filmmaking idea. All in all, I thought it was a good script. Acting was top notch. Camera work was great. And again, I liked it way more than I expected to, so that's going to affect my score as well. I went ahead and gave this movie an 8.5.
All right. I've got Brian's thoughts here. He said, had me from the start with that absolutely phenomenal opening one shot. I really love how it was shot. It was almost found footage, but I guess perspective would be the right word. I really liked it a lot. Chris Sullivan was really good. Again, Taserface, Guardians of the Galaxy. Nico might get that reference. There's an excellent man inside you, Tyler. I'd love to see him soon. Lines like that were so relatable with the son that age. Really connected with this movie. Love the character development. Love the way the presence can show emotion without saying a word. And it's portrayed through the shot, I think, is brilliant. The ending and reveal and tension was insane, that last 10 minutes. I wish there had been more of a follow-up on the mom's, quote, legal troubles and it having some sort of ramifications, which does bring it down for me, but overall it gets an 8.75. Then he said little things like, why did the presence not stop her from being drugged that second time by knocking it out of her hand or something like that? That was a factor in knocking it down just a touch, but stuff that was easy for me to let go for plot driving. And I agree. I want more about her legal troubles too, because like I said, she deserves prison time.
Never change, Dustin. Favorite kill? Yeah, I got to go with Ryan. Evil person. Never can be sad about getting rid of a murderer. Least favorite kill? I'll go with Tyler. Like, he had his moments where he was a crash out and crazy and just not supportive big brother, but he did save his little sister, and that's to be commended. So shout out to Tyler. I really enjoy this movie. I like it a lot. I can't give it a 10. Like, I just can't go that high. It's just not a movie that I want to pop on that often. It's not a hard watch by any means, but it's just not something I want to lock into all the time. I do think all the acting is very good. Love the camera work. I love the concept. And I love the emotional pull that it got from me at the end as well. I gave the movie an 8.75 as well.
All right. That gives us a composite score of an 8.6875. IMDb and Letterboxd a little bit lower than I expected, honestly, because I do think this is a great movie. IMDb 6.1, Letterboxd 3.0. Rotten Tomatoes, though, 88% of critics gave it a favorable score. That other 12%, what are you watching? Like, did we watch the same movie?
Haters in the building. Crazy. I'm really surprised the movie got that high of a rating from all of us. So I'm cool. I mean, I know me and you liked it, Dustin, because we did the reaction, but I just didn't know how Mike and Dustin had felt, so that's cool. Let's shout out our blood donors, and then, Dustin, you can announce your pick for the final one in Neon Month. Shout out all of our blood donors. Really appreciate y'all. You take a huge burden off of us. Camper Level Reoccurring, Nina, the Horror Movie Crew podcast, Michelle Mirza, Steve Schmidt, Matt from the UK, the funniest, top 2 funniest commenter we have, and Anthony Andrews. Camp Council Reoccurring, Edwin Hernandez-Gunn, Joe Swinford, Adrian Aiello, Brian Samick, Andrew Ferguson, Brooke Maley, Heather Superdoc, Jennifer Davis from the Too Close to Home Pod, Dana Tucker, Cole McAlexander, Max K, Madison Arzola, and Casey Smith. Really appreciate y'all donating. I mean it sincerely. Takes a huge burden off of us, so we don't have to spend all of the money out of our pocket to keep the pod going. So we really appreciate y'all. Helps us out a lot. Dustin, what is your pick for Neon Month?
All right. Like I said, this theme that I chose was inspired by my watch through of the Neon movies. I've seen 105 of them now. One of the ones that I watched was just so good, and it stuck with me. I went with 2017's Revenge from Coralie Fargeet, and if that name sounds familiar, first of all, I'm surprised because I probably butchered the pronunciation, but second of all, that's because she's the writer and director of The Substance, which we all loved, and she also wrote and directed this movie. And also, this is going to do a lot of reputation repair for me because I've got this kind of reputation of being a woman hater. This is a story of a woman getting revenge on some guys that wronged her. And it's an awesome, awesome movie. It is in French, so turn on the subtitles and enjoy the ride.
Sounds like Dustin's doing scene by scene for that one. Appreciate y'all. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. We appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm looking forward to watching that one. Ever since, seeing The Substance, I've been wanting to watch Corley's other movie as well, so I'm excited to check it out. But we appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll be back next week with Revenge.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody,